And a special edition of primetime coverage of Fox Saturday Baseball as we welcome you to AT&T Park here in the Bay Area. Two teams that haven't played all that much in interleague play, obviously. The Boston Red Sox and the San Francisco Giants, both contending in their respective divisions. And welcome everyone to San Francisco. Dick Stockton along with Eric Karros. And how is this for a scenario? 20-year-old left-handed promising pitcher named Madison Bumgarner is starting today for the Giants, just called up from AAA. And Eric, he's facing the best offense in Major League Baseball in the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, you know, the Giants are throwing them right into the fire. As you mentioned, the Boston Red Sox, the best offense in all of Major League Baseball. They lead the MLB in hits, runs. They've got a great slugging percentage and really anchored by Kevin Youkilis and Adrian Beltre right in the middle of the lineup, both over 50 RBIs, over a 300 average. But that's not it. It's not just offense. The Giants also face Clay Buchholz, who goes for his 11th victory today.
So it'll be interesting to see how Bumgarner does. Only his second big league start today. It'll be the Red Sox who are trying to avenge last night's 5-4 setback to the Giants. Fox Saturday Baseball in prime time coming right up. And here is today's starting lineup for the Red Sox, brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Leading off will be Marco Scudero at shortstop. Darnell McDonald will be in right field. Victor Martinez catching. Kevin Youkilis hitting cleanup at first base. Adrian Beltre will be at third base. Daniel Nava will be in left field. Bill Hall will be the second baseman. Mike Cameron will be the center fielder, and Clay Buchholz will be on the mound, as Dustin Pedroia, unable to play, will be out for some time. Madison Bumgarner making his fifth career appearance and his second major league start. Those are his numbers, and as Bruce Bochy, the Giant manager, said, simply he's fresh, and he's also pretty promising, as we see Bumgarner, the left-hander, 6'5", 225 pounds, 20-year-old from Hudson, North Carolina. And here is today's Sprint pitcher profile for Madison Bumgarner. Eric?
He's got to stay in control, both around the plate, but really with his emotions. You know, this is his first start this year, and it's against the Boston Red Sox. 3-4. Number 3 hitter for the Red Sox, Victor Martinez. Number 4, Kevin Youkilis. Both annihilate left-handed pitching. He's got to keep the ball away from those two.
So we're set to go, and this game is brought to you by Budweiser, official beer of the first inning. The beer that starts with full flavor and ends with a crisp, clean finish. Budweiser, it's what we do. So a beautiful afternoon as you look at the Bay. 64 degrees and not a cloud in the sky as Marco Scutaro steps in, hitting .282 with 4 homers and 24 runs batted in. And Scutaro has been a scrappy player, gets on base, hard to strike out, and he takes ball 1 from Bumgarner, who comes up from Fresno, 7-1 with a 3.16 earned run average. And the pitch is inside, and it's 2-0. Joe Martinez was scheduled to pitch today and was optioned to AAA Fresno. So Bumgarner getting the call, and there is a call strike, 2-1.
Well, he gets that first one out of the way. And again, it's going to be the first couple of hitters just to get those butterflies out of the way. I don't care how dominant you've been in the minor leagues. You come up here, you're a little nervous.
And a call strike 2, 2-2 after falling behind. The Red Sox coming in at 44-31. They have lost 3 out of 4 after winning 6 in a row. They lost 2 out of 3 in Colorado and lost last night. They're in 3rd place in the AL East, 3 games behind the Yankees, just a couple of percentage points behind the Tampa Bay Rays. And striking out is Scutaro, so after falling behind 2-0, Madison Bumgarner gets his first batter today for out number 1. And here is today's Giants defense presented by Scott's. In the outfield, Pat Burrow, Aaron Rowan, and Andres Torres. It'll be Pablo Sandoval, Edgar Renteria, Juan Uribe, and Aubrey Huff in the infield. And Buster Posey, who caught Bumgarner in AAA, another young prospect behind the plate, as Darnell McDonald steps in and takes ball 1.
Well, McDonald, he's done a great job for the Red Sox this year, filling in, you know, and that's something the Red Sox have had to do all year long. And with Drew being down for a period and Cameron, done a nice job.
Fouled out of play, and McDonald came in quite a splash, not as dramatic as Daniel Nava, who we'll see later on. McDonald, back in April, had a pinch hit 2-run homer in his first Red Sox at bat. And the Red Sox have had to do a lot of shuffling with injuries to their outfield. 1-1 pitch hit in the air, deep to left field. Pat Burrow going way back, and it's gone. A home run for Darnell McDonald, and the Red Sox take a 1-0 lead. Number 5 for McDonald. And last night the Giants took a 3-0 lead. Kevin Youkilis hit a 3-run homer in the first inning, but the Giants rallied.
This is just a high fastball out over the plate. Today the ball will carry because of the warmth. The sun's out. Wind looks like it's blowing out. And McDonald doesn't hit home runs. Slugging percentage of under .400. And that's the first home run, Madison Bumgarner, I should say, second home run in his last 11 starts.
And called up from the big leagues and facing Victor Martinez, hitting .295 with 9 homers and 38 runs batted in. And you talked about Martinez and Youkilis, who are 1-2 in the major leagues against left-handed pitchers. Victor Martinez batting .449 and takes a curveball for strike 2.
Yeah, he's had a lot of success, and you know, it's possibly because he waits for the ball, comes into him, it's not running away, takes away the changeup.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Victor Martinez. Terry Francona, who has to deal with yet another injury, and of course the word on Dustin Pedroia, the preliminary report, he has a fractured foot. He could be out a while, maybe as long as a month. So you know that Theo Epstein, the general manager, is going to be on the phone. Ground ball hit to third base. Sandoval, plenty of time, and gets Martinez for out number 2.
You talk about getting on the phone with Theo Epstein. You're not going to replace Pedroia. I mean, it doesn't. What he does on the field, what he does in the clubhouse, you need a stopgap is what you need.
And Dustin Pedroia, and of course, really heartbreaking considering the last game he played in the Rockies series when he went 5 for 5 and hit 3 home runs for the first time in his career as the Red Sox salvaged the final game of that series. Call strike to Youkilis. So there's Dustin Pedroia, and you're right. You just can't put anyone in there. Youkilis fouls it back, and it's 2 strikes. Fouling it off the instep of his foot, and down he went. This was in the 3rd inning last night. And a big blow for the Red Sox. Bill Hall playing second base today. And call strike 3. And Bumgarner gets Youkilis 2 strikeouts, but Darnell McDonald's home run gives the Red Sox a 1-0 lead as the Giants bat in the first. Andres Torres leading off. Edgar Renteria hitting second. Aubrey Huff having a big year batting third, as is Juan Uribe batting cleanup. Pat Burrell, what an addition he's been, batting fifth. Pablo Sandoval in the 6th spot. Buster Posey, the rookie, in the 7th position. Aaron Rowan hitting 8th. And Madison Bumgarner, the pitcher, batting 9th. As Aubrey Huff has done well against the Red Sox while playing for Tampa Bay. And Clay Buchholz, who's one of 6 major league pitchers who have won 10 or more games starting, and he's had a brilliant year.
Well, he really has. He's been dominant from the get-go. And, if you would have said who are the Red Sox pitchers to have 10 wins, you would have thought before the season maybe a Beckett or a Lackey, and Clay Buchholz.
And right now, here is today's Sprint pitcher profile for Clay Buchholz.
4-pitch guy. What it means is even if he's not getting one of those pitches over, he's still got 3 to work with. Fastball, slider, curve, changeup, power outage. Opponents are only above 300 as far as slugging percentage. Been dominant this year.
Andres Torres, the switch hitting right fielder, leading off. Torres, a valuable performer who can play all the outfield positions. 1-0 the count to him, and fouls back a fastball, and the count 1-1. He's a .303 hitter as a left-handed batter, .282 overall. Bruce Bochy, who is pleased that his team has shown a better offense, but their situational hitting he thinks can be improved, hitting into a lot of double plays of the Giants.
Well, a lot of double plays, and hitting with runners in scoring position is, for lack of a better word, it's been atrocious. I mean, it's at the bottom of the National League. And because if you look at where they are in the other categories, they're up at the top at pitching, up at the top at fielding, up at the top at hitting. But you got to get those runners in, and that's where they've really struggled this season.
Yet they're only 2.5 games behind first place San Diego in second place in the NL West. And a game and a half in front of Colorado and Los Angeles. So it's quite a skirmish.
Yeah, it really is. And you know, if you've got to handicap anybody, I really like this Giant ball club. The pitching it separates them from the rest of the division.
And couldn't hold up his swing, and Torres goes down. And there's one out as Buchholz strikes out the leadoff hitter for the Giants. And here is today's Red Sox defense, presented by Scotts. Local boy Daniel Nava is in left, Mike Cameron in center, and Darnell McDonald in right. Beltre, Scudero, Bill Hall making his third start at second base. Kevin Youkilis at first. Victor Martinez catching the pitcher Clay Buchholz, who has won 7 of his last 8 decisions, and his ERA of 1.62. Facing the veteran Edgar Renteria, who played with the Red Sox in 05. In 28 games with the Giants, has hit well, .346. As a homer, 12 runs batted in, with Uribe doing what he has done, and Renteria has had to take a back seat. Uribe, of course, not playing short today, and is playing second base. And the count 2-0 to Renteria.
Well, Renteria just solid. Almost a .400 on base percentage, just somebody that's steady. But as you mentioned, Uribe has done such a great job. You've got to find a spot for him in the lineup.
In the dirt, 3 balls and no strikes. So Buchholz falls behind Renteria with the dangerous Aubrey Huff on deck. Giants have won 3 of their last 5 and 8 of 13 games. They are in the midst of a grueling stretch, playing 20 consecutive days leading up to the All-Star break. There's a strike 3-1 to Renteria.
But if there's a club that can weather that, it's this Giant ball club, because each and every day they run out a starting pitcher that can compete. And they're not just average guys, they're top of the line guys 1 through 5.
Check swing, ball 4, and Renteria is on. First base runner for the Giants. And for a game break, let's check in with Chris Rose. All right, Chris, thanks very much. So the Yankees jumping on the Dodgers again. They won last night. And there's a sharp base hit to right field by Aubrey Huff. Rounding second, Renteria going to third base. So Aubrey Huff, despite a 1-for-14 slump, hitting .298 with 12 home runs, and the Giants have a threat going. Runners at the corners, 1 out.
Just a fastball that runs a bit out over the plate. Huff able to get the barrel of the bat on the ball. And he's really been outstanding for this Giant ball club. And it wasn't any secret that he was talking about how big this ballpark played. Man, what was he going to do offensively? But he's really adjusted and fit in nicely in this middle of the lineup. One
of the hottest hitters in the big league since the end of May, as you look at the panorama of this beautiful ballpark. As Juan Uribe, who has 12 homers, tied for the home run lead with Huff, and 45 RBIs to lead the Giants. He's having a big year and has got to get some all-star consideration in his own right. 1 out, Giants runners at first and third, with the Red Sox leading 1-0 on Darnell McDonald's home run in the top of the first. Got fooled on that pitch. 0-1 the count to Uribe.
Well, he started him with an off speed, and you know, this is also a situation, runners on first and third. You mentioned it earlier, Dick. You know, this Giant ball club leading the National League and hitting into double plays. 1 out, Buchholz gets a ground ball. He could be back in the dugout.
They're second in the major leagues behind the Minnesota Twins, and they've hit into a doubleheader at least once in 7 of the last 8 games. 0-1 the count to Uribe. Fouls it back on the screen, and Buchholz is ahead of him 2 strikes.
Yeah, 0-2 right now. Buchholz will try to make Uribe expand the zone. Throw something off speed. If he does make contact, just beats it into the ground. Gives his ball club an opportunity to turn a double play. I don't think you can mess around with a fastball at all here.
Pat Burrell is on deck for San Francisco. The 0-2 pitch. And it's popped up to the left side in foul territory. Adrian Beltre fights the sun, makes the catch for the second out. So 2 down. Runners remain at first and third with Pat Burrell coming to the plate. Bruce Bochy, who managed the Padres for 12 years, now in his 4th year with the Giants. Their last postseason was back in 03 when they lost in the National League Division Series. 14 over 500 last year. So here's Pat Burrell. And he has found a life without question, Eric, after Tampa Bay put him on the scrap heap in 51 games or 51 at-bats, hitting .314.
Well, he'll tell you himself. You know, he put himself on the scrap heap. He didn't perform there. He was in a DH role that, you know, quite frankly, just doesn't suit him. He needs to be out there playing. He's been a National League ball player with Philadelphia for so many years, and I think coming back to the National League, you know, has rejuvenated him, and he's been swinging the bat well for this Giant club.
No balls and a strike to Burrell. Throw to first base. Aubrey Huff the runner at first, and Renteria at third. Renteria drew the walk after Buchholz struck out Torres, and then Huff with a sharp single to right field. Uribe fouled out, and the count is 0-1. Check swing, and he went around at Pat Burrell, and the count 0-2.
Yeah, Burrell, for me, he's a mistake hitter. What I mean by that, if the pitcher hangs something or leaves something out over the plate, he can do some damage as well as anybody. But if you make good pitches on Pat Burrell like these last 2, you know, you can have success against him.
And Burrell strikes out. So the inning starts and ends with a strikeout. 2 runners left for the Giants. After 1, Red Sox up 1-0. For Tough and by Sprint, the Now Network. Red Sox leading on a home run by Darnell McDonald in the first. They come up in the second inning as the lights are on here despite the clear skies, but a late start Pacific Coast time, and back east Those viewing the game are seeing it in prime time as Madison Bumgarner from Hudson, North Carolina, who's had a brilliant minor league career, will be facing Adrian Beltre, Daniel Nava, and Bill Hall in the second inning. Here's Beltre. Red Sox got him, and they knew that he was a reliable glove man at third, but he has exceeded all expectations at the plate by far.
Well, he really has, especially after the first month of getting acclimated to Boston. Remember, this kid, has had a superstar year in the past.
Takes inside for ball one. Fourth in hitting in the American League at .339 is Beltre. He has 11 home runs and 7th in runs batted in with 51. There's a strike 1-1, and as Terry Francona told us before the game, he wants to play every inning of every game. A tremendous enthusiasm, and he's been a big plus for the club, who's had a lot of injury problems. And a looper off the handle of the bat will drop into left field for a base hit. So Adrian Beltre with a leadoff single to start the second.
Well, this is an excellent pitch. It's that cutter that runs in. Beltre able to fight it off, and with his strength, just nudges it out into left field. As a hitter, you always say, yeah, I deserve that because I know I've lined out a few times. I'll take it.
He's now hitting 14 out of 15 games. And here is Daniel Nava. And, of course, the dramatic story out of the natural, and you name it, some of the great tales of baseball, hitting a grand slam home run on the first pitch of his first at-bat back on June the 12th against the Phillies at Fenway Park. He was called up that day, and he's from here, Redwood City, California, the 27-year-old. And Nava has continued to hit. He was not a one-shot wonder. He's reached safely 12 games in a row to tie Mo Vaughn's Red Sox record. So Beltre with a lead at first, and the throw goes over there.
Well, this is a type of kid that, statistics don't really do him justice as far as representing what he can do on a ball field. And this has gone on his entire career, starting in high school and Santa Clara, the Independent League, and it's continued on here. The guy can just flat out play.
Everyone said no. Coaches said, no, you can't do this. No, you can't make the team. And he was cut from the Santa Clara team, and he stayed on as the clubhouse manager. So he went from doing laundry to becoming a big star in a rookie year, and his favorite player was Will Clark. He said it was too cold to come to Candlestick Park all the time, but I knew Will Clark was my favorite, and there he is. Fouled out of play, and it's 2-1 to Nava.
Well, I like the fact that his contract was purchased from the Chico Outlaws of the Independent League for $1. I mean, this is a guy that you could find on the shelf at your 99-cent store. Essentially, I mean, you go pick him up and.
But Eric, the Outlaws cut him.
But they brought him back. They cut him, and then they brought him back, and then they said, you know what, we're going to get $1 for you.
Here's the 2-1 pitch, and Nava hits it in the air to right center field. Torres is there, and he makes the catch for the first out. Beltre goes back to first here in the second. And here are today's Ford keys to the game.
Well, for Boston, you've got to get the lefty, and they've had success against left-handers, especially the middle of the lineup. Solid at second. No, we didn't just make this up. We did this before the game. Second means second in the lineup. Darnell McDonald hit the home run. Then Billy Hall at second base. San Francisco, give Wilson a break. He threw 42 pitches last night. And a sunny day for Aubrey Huff. Does a great job in day games. And what did he do in the first inning? Base hit.
And you did this all before.
That was before it happened.
No, we know that. One out to Bill Hall, who's in his 50th game of the year, was on the opening day roster, and a valuable guy for Terry Francona. Played left, center, right, short, and starting at second base for only the third time. And with Pedroia out, they need him. And the Red Sox have called up some infield replacements and a call strike to Bill Hall, and it's 1-1. He's hitting .230 with 5 homers and 16 runs batted in. Angel Sanchez was called up today from Pawtucket. Beltre with a leadoff single. Short lead held on by Huff. just a bit low, and it's 2-1.
Well, you mentioned Bill Hall's versatility, and that's what makes him so valuable for this ball club. I mean, statistically, nothing jumps out at you, but the fact that you can insert him in so many spots, and especially this year when this ball club has been ravaged by injuries.
Pitch is outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. So Madison Bumgarner, who struck out 2 in the first inning, gave up the home run to McDonald. Now 1 pitch away from giving the Red Sox an opportunity here with first and second with Mike Cameron, as you saw on deck. The 3-1. Got the fastball. Good pitch for Hall to hit. Fouled it back, and it's a full count now. There is Cameron on deck. Bumgarner from Hudson, North Carolina. Population 2,800. And this is a true. It's known locally as Bumtown because there are more than 75 Bumgarners in the town phone directory. And Madison is one of them. Here's the payoff pitch, but first to throw to first. Bochy said he can throw 110 pitches, maybe even more. That's what he's done at AAA. There goes the runner, and getting a piece of it is Bill Hall. Good jump that time by Beltre. He'll have to come back, and the count remains 3-2.
Well, you mentioned Beltre getting a good jump, and what you do as a runner in this situation, especially with a left-hander, you have to be 100% sure that that pitcher is going home. I mean, essentially what happens, if the hitter swings through the pitch, you'll probably be thrown out because you're not going to get a great jump because you have to make sure the pitcher throws the ball home.
And that looked like a straight steal. Here's the 3-2 off again. Now this is a hit and run, and this ball is foul down the right field line, so we'll do it again. As we mentioned, the Red Sox and Giants are not really familiar rivals. This is only the 3rd time that they have met, and the 2nd time since they met here back in 2004, where the Giants won 2 out of 3, and they played a 3-game set at Fenway Park 3 years ago, and the Red Sox swept that series. So Bill Hall has made Bumgarner work. Another foul ball out of play. And as far as the series history between these two franchises, the Red Sox won the 1912 World Series. 8 games, 4-3-1. That's like extra time in the World Cup with that 1 there. And of course, that was the Giants who played in New York before they moved to San Francisco in 1958. Of course, they honored one of those greats from the New York Giant era we'll tell you about. And a good throw over to first. Looks like Bumgarner has a good move, Eric.
Yeah, Bruce Bochy telling us prior to the game that Bumgarner could hold the running game in check.
Bumgarner taking his time. Beltre doesn't go, and the pitch high and away, ball 4. Beltre goes to second, and the first walk of the game. Runners at first and second. Well, this was the 1912 World Series. Red Sox won 4 games to 3. Series went to 8 games. Game 2 ended in a tie after 11 innings due to darkness. And the deciding game, Game 8, was played at Fenway Park, which had opened earlier that year. As Snodgrass committed a big error in that one to allow the Red Sox to win. Here is Mike Cameron. And Mike Cameron has had to fight injuries this year. Lower abdominal tear has really hampered him, but he had a tremendous play in center field, laying out for a drive in the final game against Colorado on Thursday. Ball 1 outside.
Well, and if you see what's going on right now, that pitch just off of the plate. In the minor leagues, kids will expand their zone. They will swing at it. The big leagues guys don't do it, and then that's even more exaggerated when you face a Boston Red Sox ball club. They see more pitches per at-bat than any club in all of baseball. Very patient, so that just compounds Bumgarner's issue on the mound.
Facing Cameron, the 37-year-old, so 17 years difference between Bumgarner and Mike Cameron. Runners at first and second, and a foul out of play. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. So Mike Cameron, who played with Milwaukee last year, had a good year through 28 games at .291. But, this off and on, not being consistent playing because of those injuries has to affect him. He's been on the disabled list twice, so he's missed 40 games. 1 out, 2 on. 1-0 in favor of the Red Sox, and that pitch rides inside. So Bumgarner having a little trouble with his command, falling behind 2-1.
Well, and again, it's like I mentioned, the guys at this level, and especially a Boston Red Sox ball club, they don't expand their zone. You're going to have to throw the ball over the plate.
One of the best teams, and they have been in the last few years, in making pitchers go deep into the count. And it's inside, 3-1. The pitcher, Clay Buchholz, is on deck for the Red Sox. And there he is as Bumgarner is in danger of loading the bases. We've got a Yankee-Dodger highlight coming up next. Talk about tradition with those two franchises down through the years. First from Brooklyn and then in L.A. And they're playing at Dodger Stadium. Here's the 3-1 pitch and a fly ball deep to center field. Going back is Aaron Rowan. Way back. It's gone. A 3-run homer. Rowan went all the way back as far as he could, and Mike Cameron hits his first home run of the year. A 3-run drive, and the Giants have taken a 4-0 lead, or the Red Sox, we should say.
So Cameron gets himself in a hitter's count. Bumgarner has to throw something over the plate. Little surprised that he laid it right there with the pitcher on deck, even though there was 1 out. Cameron drove this ball, and as we mentioned earlier, the ball is going to carry. Sunny day, warm. Aaron Rowan looked like and thought that he had a beat on this ball, and he just runs out of real estate. Big 3-run shot for Mike Cameron,
who hit 24 homers with the Brewers last year. And here's Clay Buchholz swinging and gets a base hit past Uribe into right field. So Buchholz, batting for the first time this year, gets a single. That's the 3rd hit of the inning, and the Red Sox have a 4-0 lead, and the first major league hit for Clay Buchholz as Dave Righetti, the Giants pitching coach, quickly to the mound to calm down Bumgarner.
Yeah, I think he goes out there just to give him a breather. I mean, for me, the at-bat of this inning was really Billy Hall. You know, he worked the count, took a lot of pitches, and enabled Cameron to hit the home run. Here we're going to take a look at the first major league hit of Clay Buchholz. I'm sure will go down in the annals of baseball history, as we've got it recorded there.
A little cynical there, Eric, but in the world of Clay Buchholz, I would say it would go down for something he'd remember.
I'm guessing he is going to do a ton of things with the arm that this kid has. Wow.
Clay Buchholz, and has a great shot and should be on the American League All-Star team as Marco Scudero comes to the plate, as Buster Posey goes behind the plate. Now Posey now going to the dugout. And getting a new mask. Well, while we have a moment, want to remind you, next week on Fox Saturday Baseball, David Wright and the Mets take on rookie sensation Steven Strasburg and the Nationals in a showdown between National League East rivals. So Strasburg on Fox next week. Fox Saturday Baseball returns at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific on Fox. Check your local listings for the game and start time in your area. Scudero with a ground ball. Sandoval goes over to Uribe for one to throw the first double play, and that'll do it. But the Red Sox get 3 more runs on Mike Cameron's 3-run homer, his first of the year. And in the middle of the second here in San Francisco, the Red Sox lead it 4-0. And amazingly, the Red Sox have suffered another injury as Clay Buchholz, running from first to second, came up lame, and he is out of the game and looked to be in pain as we saw him in the dugout, which you will see the replay momentarily. There he is. And Clay Buchholz, who has been the Red Sox most consistent pitcher, is through and hurt a day after Dustin Pedroia has gone out with the broken foot.
Well, and you can see he's rubbing the back of the left knee. It could either be a real low hamstring or some sort of ligament or tendon.
And Scott Atchison has come in, and he'll have as much time as he needs. And it's not the first time that Scott Atchison has been in this situation, because back on June the 12th, Daisuke Matsusaka came up lame right before the game started, and Atchison came in for him and pitched 3 solid innings in a game that the Red Sox won. So Atchison, who's a former Giant, is in there now and has plenty of time to warm up.
Well, you know, it's interesting getting back to Buchholz and the whole interleague idea of, you know, when you play in a National League park, the pitchers hit. And it's something I find funny, because I always talk to these clubs, the American League clubs. Well, the pitcher's been hitting. Oh, we've been hitting. We've been bunting. We've been doing all these sorts of things. But never do I hear we've been running the bases. And I'll tell you, it's, you know, Ching-Ming Wong of the Yankees a few years ago, that changed his whole career, changed the Yankees season. But guys get hurt running the bases. And it's something that, you know, you got to spend a week or 2 weeks to, you know, whether it's running first, rounding the bag, breaking up double plays, just running up. You can't take that for granted, as evidenced by what we just saw.
You know, I got a chance last week to talk to Joe Girardi about interleague play, and he had opinions about it. He says one of the things, he says, look, Beckett got hurt, you know, for the Red Sox. That was a situation because he was at the plate, and it's unusual for American League pitchers who are not used to hitting to get in there. So, you know, we have seen it firsthand now with Clay Buchholz, who is out of the game, and Scott Atchison is making his 13th appearance. 12th in relief is in there. we have some time before the Giants will get settled. And now for a DirecTV game break, let's go to Chris Rose and Kevin Millar in the studio. Diamondbacks 5-3. David Price winning his 11th game. So the Yankees lead is a 1 run. There you see the National League West coming into today's play. And now we're ready. Pablo Sandoval, a switch hitter, now batting again from the left side. Hitting .276 with 6 homers and 30 runs batted in. Takes ball 1 from Atchison. I don't know if you ever really get used to, as a pitcher, coming in, waiting in the wings to come in like this because of sudden injury and have to get it going in a hurry.
Well, there's 2 schools of thought. There's one that, look, you've just been sitting there. You see Sandoval pop that sky high.
And McDonald making the catch.
But the 2 schools of thought, okay, you're sitting there, you're not ready to pitch, you're not, now I've got to go out there and throw. Or the other school of thought, hey, look, I haven't had 4 or 5 days or all game long to worry about getting ready to pitch and having the nerves and all that. It's just, hey, look, you're going out there and throw and go get him.
And he's 34 years old, but in his 4th year. He's been in the minors a while, and here's Buster Posey. And Posey takes a call strike. Posey, who had only 3 hits in the Giants' previous 8 games before last night, came up with a 3-for-4 game and knocked in a run. And Posey, very promising young player, had the longest hitting streak in the National League this year, 10 games in the beginning of June, just 23. This is his 85th at bat. Fouls the pitch off, and it's 1-2.
Well, he's done a nice job since joining this club this year. And again, the question, you're going to catch. You got Benji Molina. The staff is very comfortable. Aubrey Huff was at first base, and you just got to find him at bats.
Breaking ball, bounce to shortstop. Scudero throws out Posey for out number 2. Well, before the game, the San Francisco Giants honored
number 24, Willie.
One of the all-time greats. There's Juan Marichal, Willie Mays, Willie McCovey. Willie got the big ovation as well, and they retired the number of Monty Irvin, who played with the New York Giants. His last year was in 1955, and they're getting a hug from the great Orlando Cepeda. Monty Irvin, now 91 years old, and one of the great sluggers in the National League in the 50s. Honored before the game as Aaron Rowan takes strike 1. And we'll have a couple of those former Giants talking about Monty and perhaps their all-star experience. Foul ball hit down the line. And a couple of almost perennial all-stars will be with us. So Monty Irvin, who drove in 121 runs in the Giants' Miracle 51 rally, and one of the classiest gentlemen of all time in baseball, honored. Never played in San Francisco, Eric, but they honor the Giant tradition. Two balls and 2 strikes to Aaron Rowand. Scott Atchison pitched for the Giants in 2007. Made 22 appearances and an ERA of 4.11. And strikes out Aaron Rowand. So Atchison comes in on short call, retires the Giants in order, and will return to San Francisco after a break from your local Fox station. Donald's home run with 1 out in the first inning, giving him the lead, and Mike Cameron's 3-run homer in the second, accounting for the Giant runs, facing Madison Bumgarner, and the first pitch fouled off. We have 2 of the all-time greats of baseball who wore Giant uniforms. Juan Marichal, Hall of Fame pitcher, and there he is with the famous high kick, one of the brilliant pitchers of all time. And the count 1-1 to McDonald and Stretch Willie McCovey. Well, they had great stars, and you saw a lot of them when they honored Monty Irvin before the game. And there was Willie McCovey, and McDonald hits a fly ball to center field. Shading his eyes is Aaron Rowan, who makes the catch. So it is a total honor for Eric Karros and I to have with us in our booth today Juan Marichal and Willie McCovey. Great to have you guys here.
Thank you.
Great to be here. And, you know, we want to talk about the All-Star game. And for a 10-year period, from 62 to 71, you guys were in the All-Star game. You guys dominated. And it's a great event, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. First, I'm going to touch on the honoring of Monty Irvin before the game, as Victor Martinez, the switch-hitting Red Sox catcher, with 1 out, and he takes a call strike. Your thoughts about Monty Irvin, guys?
Wonderful person, hell of a ball player. When I was a young kid, I have a man in Dominican that signed me for the San Francisco Giants, and he used to talk so much about Monty Irvin. And I got to know him before I met him because of Horacio Martinez.
That is terrific. 2 strikes. The count to Martinez in the dirt. And Willie, of course, he was a slugger like you, even though he was a right-handed batter.
Yeah, I've always admired Monty. The same guy that signed me signed Monty, Alex Pompez. So I've always had something in common with him.
And Eric, you have to be a little bit in awe, you know, as an outstanding player yourself, to be in the midst of Juan Marichal and Willie McCovey.
Well, I know all about Juan Marichal, just playing with the Martinez brothers, the Dodgers, their idol, Juan Marichal. And for me, as a young guy, growing up in San Diego, although my man over here's got the Giant stuff on, he was down in San Diego for a few years. He and Nate Colbert banging out the ball. So fond memories of watching Willie McCovey as well.
I wanted to ask you guys about the All-Star game, because Fox will have the exclusive coverage on July 13th at Anaheim Stadium. What's your memory of the All-Star game, Juan? You pitched in 10 of them.
Yes, well, I remember my first one was in Cleveland, 1962. That was the last year they played 2 All-Star game, you know, and the second one was in Chicago. And, well, it was so wonderful, you know, to be elected to be at the All-Star game, because you get to play with different players in your league, you know. And I remember my first one being there with Roberto Clemente and all those great players. That was a thrill. That was a beautiful time, you know. That and it was an honor to be elected to play in the All-Star game.
Kevin Youkilis with 2 out at bat for the Red Sox. And Willie, you too have so many memories.
Well, we was winning in those days, too. So that's why I liked it a lot. I played in 6 of them. My favorite one, naturally, was 69, when I hit the 2 home runs and was MVP of the All-Star game. But I really enjoyed playing in them.
1 ball, 1 strike, and 2-1. A lot of people may not remember that Willie Mays used to bat leadoff in many of those All-Star games.
Most of them, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I remember those days, yes.
Not a bad strategy to have maybe your best hitter lead off the game. You know, he's not going to play the whole game, although sometimes he did.
Well, the All-Star game, you know, you have mostly 3rd and 4th and 5th place hitters anyway, so somebody has to lead off, and who better than Willie Mays?
What was it like for having all you guys see the other stars, be in the clubhouse in the day before the game, and you know, and have the camaraderie of seeing the people who were great players?
Well, I remember 1971 All-Star game. I was the second pitch on that game, and I was able to pitch with Johnny Bench behind home plate. That was a thrill, man. The best catcher in the National League, and I never forget that day. You know, that was the day that Richie Allen hit that long home run.
I remember that. Well, the inning is over. Thank you, Willie McCovey, and thank you, Juan Marichal, for being with us. Two great Giants talking about the All-Star game, and we'll be right back. Giants batting in the third against Scott Atchison, who came in for the injured Clay Buchholz, and Madison Bumgarner takes strike one. Third major league at bat, but Bruce Bochy told us this man can hit. And there's a line drive snared by Youkilis for the out. And Bumgarner getting good wood on that one, lining out to Youkilis.
Just a shot with the right-handed hitter hitting the ball. The ball has curvature and it will come back towards the first baseman. Fortunately for Youkilis, that's what the ball did, able to make that play.
And Bochy said he can really hit. He says, you know, we might bet sixth in the lineup. So Youkilis, the Gold Glove winner in his career, and playing in perfect position, I might add, wide of the bag for Bumgarner. One away to Andres Torres, who struck out against Buchholz to start the game for the Giants in their half of the first, and Atchison falls behind 2 balls and no strikes. Beltre is playing a couple of steps in on the infield grass for the possible bunt. Two balls and a strike. Breaking ball grounded to Youkilis, who will make the play. 2 putouts by Youkilis and 2 outs. And now for a DirecTV game break. Let's go to Chris Rose and Kevin Millar in the studio. All right, Chris, thanks very much. And the Atlanta Braves, 1.5 lead over the New York Mets, and the Phillies 3.5 behind in a tight race as Edgar Renteria fouls off the pitch, and it's 0-2 now to Renteria, who walked and was stranded at third in the first inning. 1-2 to Renteria, who has been productive since coming off the disabled list. He's had a groin injury, also a hamstring problem. Missed 44 games. Very reliable player and a great attitude.
Well, and that's the thing. He's somebody that is just, he's consistent. You know, he's not a flashy guy. He's not somebody that is going to go out there and just wow you. But, man, every day just goes out there, plays a solid shortstop, drives in runs, has good at-bats.
Another breaking ball. Fouls out of play. If you joined us late, Clay Buchholz pulled up lane, running from first to second on a double play, which ended the second inning. So Buchholz, who came in with a 10-4 record, had to leave the game. Scott Atchison has come in and came in the second inning, retired the Giants in order, and have the first 2 outs here in the third. And Terry Francona has had to do a lot of juggling this year. Fly ball to right field toward the line. McDonald giving chase, and it's out of play.
Well, you see Buchholz on first base right now. Ground ball hit to the third baseman. Buchholz just running to second base. Feels a twinge behind his left knee. That could be a low hamstring, could be a tendon, could be something. Forces him out of the game. But again, you know, running the bases, not normal for the American League pitchers. They don't run the bases during the season because of the DH.
Renteria draws a 2-out walk, so he's walked his first 2 times up, and that'll bring up Aubrey Huff, who singled sharply to right field. Huff, who is playing left field, playing first base today, and takes outside ball 1. But what a tremendous blow it is for Clay Buchholz, and hope he won't be on the shelf for long as one of the top pitchers in the league. And the day after Dustin Pedroia suffers a broken foot, 2 of the top performers for the Red Sox, and they've had a slew of injuries in the outfield. I mean, Jacoby Ellsbury, who's not ready to begin baseball activities, although he has made progress. I mean, the injuries just don't stop for the Red Sox, and it's amazing they've come in as close as they've had to the lead in their division. Foul out of play, and it's 2-1.
Well, and you know, the one thing about a pitcher being injured, especially a guy like Buchholz, and it looks like a leg injury, you know, that's the landing leg. So he's going to have to be 100% before you bring him back, because you don't want him favoring that and then putting, you know, undue stress on his elbow or shoulder, because then you have real issues.
2-1 chopper, and Youkilis makes all 3 putouts. Giants lead 1. We've completed 3, and the Red Sox up 4-0. Pictures, Inception, The Dream is Real in theaters July 16th. And by One A Day Men's, the official multivitamin of MLB, specially formulated for men. Red Sox with a 4-0 lead. Trying to get even in this series, losing last night 5-4. The Red Sox left 13 men on base. And Adrian Beltre, who singled and scored, came around on Cameron's 3-run homer, leading off, takes strike one. Big cut and a miss. And Eric, you talked about a career year. And of course, Jim Tracy, who got to see him in Colorado managing the Dodgers when Beltre had a brilliant year when he hit .334, 48 homers, 121 runs driven in. Fly ball to right field. Torres coming over, and he makes the catch for out number one. And caught up with Bruce Bochy, the Giants manager, asked him his assessment of the 20-year-old Madison Bumgarner.
Well, I'm sure he was a little nervous out there, a little hyped up. He was pitching behind. That's hard to do. Came in with the fastball there on Cameron, but it looked like he settled down last inning. But we need some innings here, and so hopefully he'll continue to settle down and get us deep in the game here.
Juan Uribe having a great season so far. Talk about a little bit about his versatility and really the versatility of a lot of the guys on your club.
Well, I mean, Eric, this guy's so valuable. I can play him at short, third. He's at second today. He's been hitting cleanup for us, doing a lot of damage, and it's nice to have that versatility. And really, if you look at our lineup, Posey's catching today. He's been playing first. Puff he's playing first today. He's played right field, left field. Sandoval, I can move around, so it's nice to have these movable parts. If I have to give a guy a day off, then it makes it a lot easier.
Hey, Bruce, thanks for joining us.
Hey, guys. All right, thanks for having me on.
So Daniel Nava grounds out to Aubrey Huff, who makes the play for the second out as the bat flew toward the mound, and Bumgarner adeptly got away.
Well, interesting that the bat goes right back to him. The ball hit to the first baseman. Now, Bumgarner doesn't break right away. He's watching what's going on and then thinking, oh, I better get over there. But Aubrey Huff able to field it cleanly, get over to first base.
2 down to Bill Hall. Off-speed pitch is outside, and 1-0 the count. But I kind of agree with you. When you have the pitching, you're going to be in there all the way. And, of course, the Giants, Tim Lincecum, by the way, the 2-time defending Cy Young winner, will work tomorrow in the series finale against the Red Sox. And it's been kind of an unusual, uncharacteristic week for Barry Zito and Matt Cain, who pitched a combined 6 2/3 innings. Each having their worst starts of the year, but that's not going to happen often. To a pitch grounded right to Sandoval. And a 1-2-3 inning for the second inning in a row for Bumgarner. And in the middle of the fourth, the Red Sox up by 4 runs. All the runs accounted for by home runs. Juan Uribe leading off takes a strike. Fouled out to Beltre at third, his first trip. Uribe, Pat Burrell, and Pablo Sandoval against Scott Atchison. And a fly ball hit to right field. McDonald going back on the warning track and makes the catch for the first out here in the fourth inning. Terry Francona, the Red Sox manager, and of course what's on everyone's mind as far as his club is concerned is the condition of Clay Buchholz.
Yeah, he hyperextended his knee, his left knee going to second. The good news, I mean, it scared us all, watching him walk off and in the dugout. He got checked out pretty well. The trainer came out and said he was looked at by the doctor and seems to think that he's actually okay, so that's kind of a relief. But we'll certainly get him checked out more.
Mike Cameron, the big 3-run shot. Talk a little bit about what you've had to do with his health and getting him in the lineup.
Well, it's not been so much us. He's managed himself great. I mean, if anybody's been around him, he's a pro. We just tried to not let him hurt himself because he wants to play so much. He feels a responsibility because he knows what's going on. But we got to be a little careful with him. He still feels it.
Terry, thanks for being with us, and hang in there, man.
All right, guys. Nice talking to you.
Tell you what, his temperament and handling things, and you say, well, what else is he going to do? But he always seems to have a smile on his face and looks at the bright side, and his team really has hustled very much for him. Pat Burrell, who struck out his first time up, now with the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ramon Ramirez in the Red Sox bullpen down the right field line. Scott Atchison, who came on and had all the time to work when Buchholz came up lane. Retired the Giants in order in the second. Gave up a 2-out walk to Renteria in the third. No damage, and gets Uribe for the first out here.
Well, and obviously this becomes a bullpen game. You don't have anybody down there that's going to eat up 5 or 6 innings. You're going to have to mix and match, get a guy in for 2 or 3 here, 2 or 3 there. And, hopefully, at least if you're a Red Sox fan, get the ball to Papelbon and let him do what he's done in the past, not just the last couple of games, but historically he's just lights out.
Atchison, who has been up and down several times, called up 4 times in all this year, has a full count to Pat Burrell with 1 out. Pablo Sandoval on deck. And because of Wakefield, even though the Red Sox didn't win, it's only 7 innings last night as Burrell draws a 1-out walk. The Red Sox bullpen is in order and everyone ready to go as Papelbon and Del Carmen were kept out of last night's game. There's Ramirez as Sandoval comes up with 1 on and 1 out. Pablo fired out to right field his first time up. What a great season in his first full year with the Giants a year ago, hitting .330 with 25 homers, knocking in 90. Below those numbers so far this year as the pitch rides up and away 1-0.
Yeah, the 25 home runs you mentioned last year, and he got off to a great start in April. Looked like he was just carrying on last season, but May and June only 3 home runs combined, hitting around .230.
And there's a drive down the right field line, and it's going to be off the wall. Going to third base is Pat Burrell, and holding it first with a long single is Sandoval. As that ball climbed off that brick wall, and Sandoval gets the first hit off of Atchison. And runners at first and third and 1 out for the Giants here in the fourth.
And this is where this ballpark really steals a home run from Pablo Sandoval. This thing just a rocket, hits off the brick facade out there in right field, and McDonald does a great job of holding Sandoval to a single.
And Terry Francona not going to take any more chances as you see that ball hard hit off the wall and recovered nicely by McDonald. So Atchison does his job, comes out of the game, and Ramon Ramirez will check in for the Red Sox when we return. New pitcher Ramon Ramirez facing Buster Posey, the Giants' rookie catcher. With runners at first and third and one out, a chance for the Giants to get back in the game. And the first pitch misses, 1-0 the count. And so Ramirez making his 32nd appearance of the year. His ERA is 5.02, but he's pitched well as of late. He's not allowed a run in 8 of his last 10 outings with an ERA of 2.16. One out, and the Giants trailing 4-0 to the Red Sox here in the bottom of the fourth. Pat Burrell at third, Sandoval with the lead at first. Inside. 2-0 now to Posey with Aaron Rowand on deck. There is Pat Burrell, who walked with one out, and then Sandoval with a sharp double off the right field wall.
And if you're Buster Posey, you've got to look for something up in the zone. Nothing down around the knees. You want to stay out of that double play, which the Giants have been notorious for this year.
Sandoval with a single and the second hit for them in the game. Here's the 2-0. Ground ball in the hole, gloved by Beltre, gets the force, the throw to first, not in time, and a run scores. And Buster Posey beating the throw, and Pat Burrell coming around with the first Giant run of the game, and it's a 4-1 game and an RBI for Posey. Aaron Rowand coming up to the plate now with the runner at first and 2 down. And let's listen to the sounds of the game with Aaron Rowand.
Full panic mode in the batter's box. I don't know what this guy's got. I'm like, okay, cutter, heater. Oh, look, there's the curveball. Okay, see that one.
And now he's facing Ramon Ramirez. Rowand struck out his first time up, so it's a 4-1 game. The Red Sox lead, 2 down, 1 on in the fourth, and a strike to Rowand.
You see Rowand up at the plate. The Giants are fortunate, though, right now that Rowand is up at the plate. Could have easily just hit into a double play. Posey went after that pitch. It was down in the zone, and you know, the absence of Pedroia, Bill Hall at second base, the inability to turn two.
Beltre checks to make sure he's got the ball in his hand, makes the play to retire the side. The Giants get a run on 1 hit and lead 1. And we go to the fifth, 4-1 Boston. The game, he says, I know that Theo Epstein, the general manager, will be on the phone with Pedroia out for a while, and the Red Sox have announced a trade that they have acquired A's infielder Eric Patterson in a deal for minor league left-hander Fabian Williamson. Patterson is hitting .204 in 45 games, has played 2 years with the Cubs, 2 years with the A's, and the Red Sox have indeed acquired an infielder with experience. Mike Cameron leading off in the 5th inning against rookie Madison Bumgarner, and takes strike one. Bumgarner has settled down. And swing and a miss in the 2nd inning with 2 on and 1 out. Mike Cameron hits his first home run of the year after McDonald homered in the 1st inning. A 3-run drive to give the Red Sox the 4-1 lead that they enjoy. Chopper to third. Sandoval guns it over, and Cameron is retired for the first out in the 5th inning. And here is today's Mercedes-Benz trivia question. Who has played in the most All-Star games in MLB history? John Lackey is going to come up and pinch hit for Ramirez. And the pitch is inside, ball 1. So John Lackey, who has 2 hits and 4 at-bats, including a double, wielding the bat and going to the mound, Buster Posey, talking this one over with Bumgarner.
Well, and it's a short bench right now, and why Terry Francona does this in this situation still early in the game, and you don't want to burn any of your guys, whether it's a J.D. Drew or a David Ortiz, somebody like that, in a situation that doesn't really mean anything. Call 4-1 here.
Call strike 1-1, and you mentioned Drew, of course, didn't play last night. Pinch hit, could have because of the cold. Never seen the hamstring pull, getting him another day off. Here's a chopper to shortstop, and Renteria retires Lackey for the 2nd out. Good move here. Manny Del Carmen will be the next Red Sox pitcher throwing in the bullpen. So Lackey, pinch hitting, is retired, and Marco Scutaro, the top of the order, coming up. There's Del Carmen, who was kept out of last night's game. Scutaro has struck out and bounced into a double play. One 1-0 the count to the Red Sox shortstop, who had a career high last year with .282 average, 12 homers, and 60 runs batted in. All of them the best he's had in his career. Fouls it off.
Well, I think you mentioned it earlier. He comes from the Oakland A's organization, spent many years there prior to Toronto, and that's where he became a very patient hitter, worked counts, and that's what he's done this year for the Red Sox. Again, the numbers aren't eye-popping, but coming into today, the same number of walks as strikeouts, very patient hitter.
Off-speed pitch, 1-2.
And very rarely are you going to see a Marco Scutaro at bat be 3 pitches. He'll work counts, he'll foul balls often. Even if he does make an out, the pitcher has to work.
Hard to strike out, and there's a line drive, base hit. Could be extra bases into the left field corner. Chased by Pat Burrell, and Marco Scutaro will waltz into second with a 2-out double. 3rd extra base hit of the game for the Red Sox.
His pitch down and in doesn't get down far enough, and Scutaro able to drop his hands in the barrel of the bat, keeps the ball fair. Ideally, the left-handed pitcher wants to throw that ball to the right-hander's back ankle. He doesn't get that in far enough. Scutaro able to handle it.
And Darnell McDonald, who homered with 1 out in the 1st inning to give the Red Sox their initial 1-0 lead, flied out to Rowan in center his last time up. Red Sox with a runner in scoring position, 2 away in the 5th, leading 4-1. Strike on the inside corner.
Well, that's one thing about this Red Sox lineup is they've got grinders throughout the lineup. There isn't really an easy out. They're going to go up there. They're going to battle you. You look at the middle of the lineup, Martinez, Youkilis, and Beltre. Right now they're 1 for 6. They haven't done really anything today, but Red Sox have put 4 on the board.
1-1 the count, and this was the home run in the first inning.
That fastball out over the plate and up in the zone. McDonald gets a hold of it. Again, this isn't a guy that hits home runs. A slugging percentage of under 400 coming into the game.
Now with 5 homers and 20 runs driven in. Called up when Ellsbury and Cameron went on the DL. An off-speed pitch. Sandoval makes a good glove hand grab and throws out Darnell McDonald. Sandoval playing solid third base today for the Giants. The Red Sox leave a runner in scoring position after 4.5. Ridley Square, and a lot of good shops there. Think there's enough to do in San Francisco?
Got to be here for a while to take in everything. And great city.
And not do anything twice, not to mention the restaurants and the great sights. Madison Bumgarner, first pitch, line drive, base hit to left field. In his at-bat in the third inning, he lined out sharply to Euclid. And this year has had an opposite field home run earlier this month in AAA and leads off with a base hit here in the 5th.
Well, batting 6 might be too low in the order. Maybe you put him up higher. He's had 2 great swings, hit the ball hard both times. And I'm sure as word gets around the league of his ability to swing, he's not going to get those fastballs at 86 miles an hour down the tube anymore.
So the Giants, who fell behind 4-0, and seeing an array of relief pitchers after Clay Buchholz suffered that hyperextended knee. Scott Atchison, who gave up the 1 run in 2 1/3 innings. Ramon Ramirez, who pitched briefly. Now Manny Del Carmen. And the first pitch is a strike. So Manny Del Carmen for the Red Sox. And Andres Torres, who struck out and bounced to first. Beltre playing a couple of steps in at third. Giants trailing by 3 runs here in the 5th. In the air to right field. McDonald making the catch, and there's 1 out. And now for a DirecTV game break. Let's check in again with Chris Rose and Kevin Millar in the studio. All right, thank you very much, guys. So Joe Girardi and Joe Torre, they were very close in New York. Girardi was the bench coach for Joe Torre, who's managing against the team he led to great years in postseason. Here's Edgar Renteria. Has walked twice. Giants with 1 out have Bumgarner on at first base. And another fly ball to right field. Darnell McDonald will make the play again for the 2nd out. Nationwide, thousands of communities have gotten involved as Chevy and Scotts have set out to rebuild local ballparks. Don't miss your chance to get involved and to win a new Chevy at ChevyBaseball.com. So with 2 down, Aubrey Huff has singled and bounced out to Euclid, pulling the ball twice, facing Manny Del Carmen for the first time. Up high, ball 1. Del Carmen has held opposing batters to an average of 177 in 31 appearances. Red Sox have had a strong bullpen, 2nd in the league last year. They dropped a bit, but that can be deceiving statistically as Huff fouls it away.
Well, and that's the thing. They can, as a reliever, you can go out and just have one bad outing, and then it distorts your numbers for the remainder of the season. As you mentioned, this Red Sox bullpen has been a lot better as of late. Papelbon had some hiccups, but for the most part, it's been a pretty steady group.
And Daniel Bard has really come on big as the setup man here. Here's the 1-1. And a ground to the right side. Hall. And actually, the play is made by Scudero on the shift. 1 hit, 1 left. We've completed 5. Verizon, the network with the most 3G coverage, and by Chevrolet in our award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers. That's McCovey Cove, and I don't know if you'll find, because of where we are in this country, a more picturesque ballpark than AT&T Park.
No, it is a beautiful place. Bring the family out, and on a sunny day like this, you could see forever.
Playpen of the San Francisco Giants. Part of the order for the Red Sox here in the 6th inning. Victor Martinez, Kevin Youkilis, and Adrian Beltre facing Madison Bumgarner, who other than 2 home run balls has not pitched badly at all. Gave up a double to Scudero, but there's been only 1 base runner in the last 3 2/3 innings for Bumgarner, as Martinez, the switch hitter, fouls it back 1-1.
Well, he gets hurt, on a 3-run shot by Mike Cameron on a 3-1 pitch, and the at bat that was really important was the prior one. Billy Hall just battled and battled. But Bumgarner, to his credit, has absolutely neutralized the middle of this lineup. Martinez, Youkilis, and Beltre. He's pitched a great ball game so far. He really has.
Pitches outside, and he's giving Bruce Bochy innings.
Yes.
Ball strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Victor Martinez. Comes in hitting .378 in June. Traded from the Indians last year in late July. Fly ball right field. Torres toward the line, and he makes the catch for out number 1. And here is today's Verizon game summary. And Eric Karros talking about the long ball. Mike Cameron's 3-run homer in the 2nd inning to make it 4-0. Clay Buchholz left the game in the 2nd inning, hyperextended knee, and you heard Terry Francona says they don't think it's going to be all that bad. And the rookie Madison Bumgarner, called up to pitch this game, has allowed 4 runs on 5 hits. Facing Kevin Youkilis, strike 1 to him. Youkilis has struck out twice, once on a called 3rd strike. He had a 3-run homer to give the Red Sox the lead in the 1st inning last night, which disappeared in a hurry. Fly ball right center field. Torres is there, and he's got it for out number 2. Well, once again, here is today's Mercedes-Benz trivia question. Who has played in the most All-Star games in MLB history? And the answer is Willie Mays. Oops. Premature. Willie Mays and Stan Musial, who both were in 24 games. Here is Beltre, 1 for 2 with a single, and has scored 1 of the runs for Boston. Ball 1. Of course, a lot of people, we heard from Juan Marichal and Willie McCovey, there were many years that there were 2 All-Star games in one season.
Did you ever go to any of those All-Star games? I know you were a big Giants fan growing up.
Yes, I did. Actually, in 1960, I went to Yankee Stadium to see the 2nd All-Star game and had a chance to see Stan Musial and Ted Williams play, and one hit a home run and one got a base hit. That was the 2nd All-Star game, and the reason why they had 2 All-Star games was to help the Players Pension Fund. 1-2 pitch, and Beltre strikes out. 1-2-3 inning for Bumgarner, and that is his 4th strikeout of the game. Go to the bottom of the 6th. On 3 hits, Juan Uribe facing Manny Del Carmen here in the 6th inning. It's a fastball and fouls it off the screen. Well, giving new term to the phrase walking wounded. Here's Clay Buchholz, who suffered a hyperextended knee, bringing the crutches and says, I don't want him. Give him to Dustin Pedroia.
They're just kind of clowning around there. It's a great way to get some sort of crutch endorsement. Ooh, got to parlay that.
Pedroia, after the game, had the walking boot on and the crutches as well. After the game last night, when he fouled the ball off of the instep, and on further review, the preliminary report is he has a broken foot. And the Red Sox making a trade, acquiring Eric Patterson, the infielder from the A's, for minor league left-hander Fabian Williamson. Here's the 0-2 pitch up high to Uribe. 0 for 2, and here's that injury again for Uribe.
Well, and you know, the thing about this ball that's hit off his foot is usually when you do that, the ball just kind of grazes the bat. And he felt like he actually hit that thing on the barrel. So he smoked that thing right down on his foot. And he's got one of those ankle protectors, but it hit the top of his foot, not the ankle area.
And a drive hit deep to left field. Will it carry? And it's off the wall. Uribe hustling into second base. Will have to slide, and he's safe. Juan Uribe with a leadoff double in the 6th inning, with the Giants trailing by 3 runs.
Well, this pitch is down and away. Uribe thinks that he's got all of it. Hits it right down that line and hits that green car out there. Smoked it right in the grill. Slides in for a double.
Now, there's a story about that car, because one time Jeff Kent, I understand, hit a ball down there, and he says, if I find out that that ball hit that top car above, I'm going to go saw it off the next time I'm here.
Well, it must not have hit the car above, because it's still all there.
Pat Burrow taking inside for ball 1. So Uribe, who homered last night, his 12th of the year. And now Pat Burrow, who struck out and walked and has scored the only Giant run. So Uribe at second, nobody out. In a 4-1 game, the Red Sox leading. Good pitch, fastball on the inside corner, and Martinez will go to the mound to talk to Del Carmen. And while he does, here is the Toyota in-game box score for the Giants. And no one yet with 2 hits for San Francisco. Although Sandoval is on deck and he has an opportunity.
Well, just not a lot going on yet for this Giant ball club. They did have an opportunity. Runners on first and third. Posey came up to the plate, hit into a fielder's choice, and they only ended up getting 1 run. But they're in a good spot now.
Dustin Richardson, left-hander, is in the Red Sox bullpen. And off the fist fly ball, and that they drop, and it does in front of Cameron in center field. Uribe will go to third. He had to hold up. And now with nobody out, the Giants have runners at first and third, and the tying run comes to the plate in Pablo Sandoval. So 2 hits here in the 6th inning, 5 hits for the Giants.
Well, Uribe does a good job right here. He's got to freeze in case Cameron catches the ball, but he's got to be off the base so he can get far enough over to third.
And Dustin Richardson will get the call and come in for the Red Sox. He'll be their 5th pitcher. Dustin Richardson, 26-year-old left-hander, has come on with the Giants threatening with runners at first and third and nobody out. That is the 4th appearance for Richardson from Newton, Kansas, who made 3 appearances last year. Uribe is at third. Pat Burrell is on at first. And the batter is Pablo Sandoval, who singled and takes a strike, or actually went around for the strike.
We've got a left-handed pitcher out there. A tendency for lefties to throw the ball away from the right-handers. You've got a big hole on the right-hand side of that infield. Sandoval's got to look for something out over the plate and think about driving it through that hole.
Batting right-handed for the first time in the game against the southpaw. Represents the tying run at the plate, fouls it off. And Richardson is ahead 2 strikes as you see the late start, what it does with the shadow.
Well, the shadows, why that makes it difficult is the ball. See, it's out there in the light. And then there it comes into the dark light and then dark again. What you want to do as a pitcher, either spin something so when it goes into that shadow, when it comes back out, it's at a different plane or different level. Once it goes in there, you don't want to keep it on the same. That's why fastballs tend to get hit a lot.
23-year-old Giant third baseman, and in the dirt. Stop made by Victor Martinez. 1-2 the count. So a chance for the Giants here, who have left 5 men on base so far in this game. Had 3 singles coming into this inning. A leadoff double by Juan Uribe, and then Burrell's single to center field.
You know, to get back on that shadow thing, to put it a little more simply, when it enters the shadow, you lose it as a hitter. So if it stays on the same level as when it entered into the shadow, you got a chance. But if that ball moves, whether it's a sinker or a breaking ball, the pitcher has the advantage.
Here's Richardson's 1-2 pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Richardson last pitched 8 days ago against the Dodgers and gave up a home run to Garrett Anderson of Los Angeles. He was called up on June the 12th from Pawtucket as Daisuke Matsuzaka was put on DL. That was the game that Scott Atchison was called to the 11th hour to start. He drove up from Rhode Island to Boston and reached Fenway Park in the 6th inning of the game against the Phillies. Here's the 2-2. Holds up, so far Richardson has been high with the heater, and the count is full, 3-2 with 2 on and nobody out. Runners at the corners for the Giants. Buster Posey on deck for San Francisco. There's Uribe, and Burrell with the lead at first. Giants have been trailing all the way, trying to fight back as time is called.
Well, another spot, runners in scoring position. This Giant ball club has struggled all year long. Left guys out there in the first inning. Didn't get a hit when they had an opportunity in the 4th.
And they want to avoid that double play. That's been plaguing them this year. Here is Richardson's 3-2 pitch, and Sandoval strikes out. A big first out for Dustin Richardson. 1 away, and that'll bring up Buster Posey.
You see this pitch, just a dead red fastball. Sandoval swings right through it. You know, but on the positive note, you look at it, well, didn't hit into a double play. Only 1 out. Now Buster Posey, he's got another opportunity. And remember, he came up with runners on first and third prior and hit that ground ball to Beltre. Red Sox unable to turn the double play.
Posey got the run batted in. He's hit the ball on the ground twice. And we're going to have activity in the Giant bullpen start. 1-0 the count. Jeremy Affeldt, who has been struggling for the Giants, begins to throw. here in the 6th inning. Posey caught fire, started at first base the day he was recalled, and went 3 for 4 against the Diamondbacks. And trying to help the Giants get back in this game after they were trailing 4-0. 1-1 now to Posey. On deck is Aaron Rowan. There's Rowan. Red Sox trying to get through this game with their bullpen. Clay Buchholz worked 1 inning and then suffered a hyperextended knee on a double play, which ended the Red Sox 2nd inning. And we've had Atchison, Ramirez, Del Carmen, and now Richardson in relief. Two and one, very close. Too close for comfort for Posey. And Richardson throwing hard out there.
Well, trying to get in with a fastball. This is just up and in a bit too much. Not anything, obviously, that Posey can offer at. But 2-1. You're the hitter right now. You're looking for something waist high or above. Think about driving the ball to right center.
Uribe, the runner at third, Burrell at first. Giants had runners at first and third. This is the 3rd time in the game. First inning didn't score. They got 1 run, as you mentioned, on the fielder's choice in the 4th. Two and one to Gerald Buster Posey. And he lifts it in the air to center field. Tagging up is Uribe. Cameron makes the catch, and scoring is Uribe with the 2nd Giant run. An RBI for Posey, his 2nd of the game. And it's now a 4-2 game. And now for a DirecTV game break, let's go to Chris Rose and Kevin Millar in the studio. All right, Chris and Kevin, thank you very much. Here's Aaron Rowan, has struck out and bounced to thirds. And Burrell, of course, held it first on the fly to center field, but the Giants get another run. They have had single runs in the 4th and 6th innings. 1-0 the count to Rowan. And it's interesting, Eric, you know, the Red Sox and Giants playing, affecting the 2 divisions. And the Yankees and Dodgers also affecting both of these teams. Playing down south. 2 great series out here on the West Coast. You're a baseball fan, you'd be tuned into either one of those. And a ground ball to shortstop. Scudero gets the force, and that'll do it. But the Giants come back and get a run, chipping away, trail 4-2, and will return to San Francisco after a break from your local Fox station. about 6:15 Pacific time. Daniel Nava will lead off against Madison Bumgarner, who's working his 7th inning. 0 for 2 is Daniel Nava from Redwood City, California, and he takes a fastball for a strike. Bumgarner certainly has settled down as Nava 0 for 2 steps in. In the first 3 innings, Bumgarner threw 53 pitches, only 32 in the next 3 innings, and 85 coming into this inning.
Well, I think there's a little bit of that nerves, the adrenaline at the beginning of the game. He was able to settle down. He's thrown a fantastic game. And as I mentioned, he's completely neutralized the middle of this lineup. Martinez, Youkilis, and Beltre combined 1 for 9.
And he's ahead of Nava. No balls and 2 strikes. Off-speed pitch fouled off. Hideki Okajima warming up for the Red Sox. So the way the pattern is working, Okajima, Daniel Bard, Jonathan Papelbon could be the scenario. And there's Okajima, who's had to adjust to not being the setup man for Papelbon this year, but coming in the 7th inning, and it has taken some adjustment for him. Here's the 0-2 to Nava, fouled back.
Well, and I think it's been more of a mental adjustment than it's been a physical adjustment. You know, the game doesn't seem so important in the 7th inning or 6th inning as it does in the 8th when you're trying to hand the ball over to your closer. And, you know, that's something that Okajima's battled with this year.
Shadow's just about out to the pitcher's mound, a little bit halfway, and a called third strike. Nava goes down 0 for 3. We heard earlier from Aaron Rowan sounds of the game. Now he's talking about the increasing shadows here.
You know, picking the ball up. It's starting to move. The sun's not directly behind home plate now. The shadows make it a little more difficult.
He's talking about fielding right there, I think. But for me, the shadows always, the most difficult part of shadows were the hitting.
Bill Hall offers it the first pitch and lifts a foul fly, and trying to get into the stands is Andre Torres to no avail.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to run through that wall or attack that wall. You know, that's a problem, though. You get over there, and those walls are basically, you know, knee high. Very easy to just go over the top of those things. Got to be careful. Slow down when you get over there.
Another foul ball to the opposite field. Hall has walked and came around along with Beltre on Mike Cameron's 3-run homer back in the 2nd inning. Madison Bumgarner, 20-year-old. We were talking about Lincecum and Bumgarner as the 2 promising phenom pitchers. And we know what Lincecum has done, and now Bumgarner, who's just 20, trying to follow suit. He was the 10th overall pick in 2007 at the age of 17. The year before, Lincecum was the 10th overall pick. And you got Posey, who was the 5th overall in 08 out of Florida State. There's the youth on this team as Hall grounds to Renteria, 2 down. And here is the Toyota in-game box score for the Red Sox. So are we saying here that no one on either team has had more than 1 hit in the game?
No, and you can make an argument that the guy with the best at-bats today has been Madison Bumgarner, pitcher for the Giants, who smoked 2 balls today. Has 1 hit to show for it. But, the home run right now for the Red Sox. It's, 2 home runs accounted for all 4 runs. And by 2 guys they don't really count on for power.
Cameron's first of the year. McDonald hitting his 5th. The Red Sox coming in 2nd in the major league in home runs behind the Blue Jays. Cameron pops it up. Front of the plate. Posey gives way. And making the catch is Sandoval. 1-2-3 inning. Bumgarner really showing well. His team is trailing 4-2, and they come up. The Giants do in the bottom of the 7th. Mobil 1, the world's leading synthetic motor oil brand. And by Lowe's, for all your home improvement needs. Lowe's, let's build something together. Giants coming up in the 7th inning. And Freddie Sanchez is going to pitch hit for Madison Bumgarner, who should be pinch hitting in his own right from what we've seen. Hideki Okajima making his 32nd appearance of the year. Last pitch Thursday and struggled against the Rockies in 2/3 of an inning, allowing 3 runs on 4 hits, as the Rockies got 6 runs in that 6th inning against Okajima and Manny Del Carmen. So it'll be the pinch hitter, and then the top of the order, Andres Torres and Edgar Renteria for the Giants. 6th pitcher of the day for the Red Sox out of necessity as Clay Buchholz worked 1 inning and had to come out of the game because of the knee injury. And again, Terry Francona saying that the report isn't all that bad on him. So here's Sanchez. And it's the first time he's been pinch hitting all year. Sanchez hitting .174 in 23 at-bats with 1 RBI. Missed 38 games with the shoulder surgery that he had last January. 32-year-old veteran appeared in 25 games last year and facing Okajima. 4-2 the score in favor of the Red Sox. And the first pitch, ball 1. And the outfield playing around to the right on Sanchez. So Madison Bumgarner working 7 innings, gave up 4 runs on 5 hits, walked 1, struck out 5, and allowed the 2 home runs that have accounted for all 4 Red Sox runs. Check swing, and it's 2-0 to Sanchez.
Well, Sanchez's only job right now is to get down to first. His run doesn't mean anything, and you know, if there is going to be an opportunity to score some runs, he gets on base and you go right to the top of the lineup.
Okajima falling behind the pinch hitter. Fly ball to left field. Daniel Nava going back, way back, and it is off the wall. Retrieved by Mike Cameron, and in a second with a leadoff double is Freddie Sanchez, his first pinch hit of the season, and a 2-bagger. So the Giants have had the leadoff man on base the last 3 innings.
So he gets all of this and drives it to left center field, gets full extension. Nava doing a good job of going after it and then realizing it's going to hit off the wall. He's going to play it off the wall. Cameron out there shoots right to Cameron. He gets the ball in, but a good job of converging on the ball. See that just short, about 2 or 3 feet.
And the Giants with Uribe leading off last inning with a double and getting a run. And here's Andres Torres, who is 0 for 3. And the first pitch taken for a ball. Torres has struck out, grounded to first and fly to right, and facing, of course, Okajima for the first time. So he represents the tying run at the plate in a 4-2 game. Giants trying to climb back against the full array of Red Sox relief pitchers today, or tonight if you're watching back east. And a call strike, a high strike called by Bill Welke, the home plate umpire, and the crowd down agreeing.
No, he hasn't called that pitch. Borderline, though.
Bill Welke behind the plate. Mike DeMuro has been at first. The crew chief Tim Welke, the brother of Bill, and Jim Reynolds working over at third. Stepping off the rubber. They want to keep Sanchez close. Scudero is edging, trying to edge towards second, but has to watch the hole in left field on the left side of the infield. Jeremy Affeldt up for the second time today.
And there is the pitch in for the strike. And once again, it looked like Torres was fooled by that pitch.
Well, off-speed pitch right there, something that Torres obviously wasn't looking for. Gets out, it just kind of drops right in there. But you can't worry about driving in the run. You got to worry about somehow or another getting that runner to third base. If you can get him in, that's just gravy.
Scudero shading towards second, and the pitch is up high. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Freddie Sanchez leading off. Pinch hitting for Madison Bumgarner and doubling off the wall. And there is Edgar Renteria waiting to hit for the Giants. And Aubrey Huff in the hold. Fly ball, foul territory. Euclid closest to it as it bounces before it goes into the stands. Red Sox took a 3-0 lead, and the Giants won last night 5-4. As the Red Sox left 13 on base. And good relief pitching by San Francisco yesterday. They've gotten good starting 7 innings from their 20-year-old rookie left-hander today. Two balls, 2 strikes to the switch hitting Andres Torres. Just get a piece of it, and he fouls it off his foot.
Okajima going with the breaking ball. You see Torres pounds that off his foot. And as a hitter, that just, it really smarts. You're walking around, it's, a throb. Now, see, that's not ankle. That's shin. That's lower shin right there. And,
bone.
Yeah, that's just not feeling good right there. And, if you're a pitcher right now, you're going right back down there. You're going something in on the hands or some sort of breaking ball to the back foot of the right-hander. Because the last thing you want to do as a hitter is hit anything near that foot again.
Okajima facing Torres, and he strikes out as he chases a pitch outside the strike zone. Second time he's gone down on strikes as Torres, and there's 1 out. But we're pleased to announce the People All-Star Among Us winners for these 2 teams. For the Red Sox, it's Lenny Moitoso of Fairfield, Connecticut. And for the Giants, it's Betty Chin from Eureka, California. The names of all 30 winners who will be honored during the All-Star pregame ceremony on Fox will be announced on Monday at peopleallstars.com. Here's Renteria. 0 for 1, walked his first 2 times up. And waves at the off-speed pitch, strike 1.
You see Torres heading down the steps. You have the trainer look at his ankle.
Dave Greshner, the athletic trainer for the Giants, walking him into the clubhouse. So Renteria, who has 1 home run this year. Giants have had the tying run at the plate here in the 7th inning. One ball, 1 strike.
Giants just looking for another hit with runners in scoring position so far today. 1 for 6. Just solidifying their spot as the worst in the National League. Hitting with runners in scoring position. That is really what's hindered them, if anything, this year.
Fly ball down the right field line, and it will drop in the bullpen of the Red Sox as McDonald and Euclid chased after it. And of course, that is the situational hitting that Bruce Bochy was talking about when we discussed the Giants situation. Their hitting has been a lot better. I mean, they're coming in 3rd in the overall batting average, 11th in runs. Middle of the pack in home runs. But the Giants have that pitching going for them, and a tremendous closing work by Brian Wilson, who picked up his 21st save last night in a 4-out save and would be eligible today, and of course would want to come into this game if that's the scenario. Sanchez at second with one away. Edgar Renteria with the count 1-2 with one out. 4-2 in favor of the Red Sox. And another foul off to the right, out of play. Jeremy Affeldt has been warming up. Excuse me, Eric, and he'll be coming in.
Yeah, I mean, just to expand on your point, the Giants, as you mentioned, third in hitting, third in pitching, third in fielding. That right there just tells you how well balanced they are. I mean, they aren't weak in any area, and top three in every arena. But the bottom line is you've got to get those runners in, and they're not in the top three. They're at the bottom, runners in scoring position.
And they've really had a change in their lineup since the beginning of the year. And there's a fly ball hit out to left field. Nava comes in to make the catch. Hustling back to second is Sanchez, and there are two down in the seventh inning. Well, baseball's biggest stars go head-to-head for one spectacular night in the summer's biggest event as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2010 MLB All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 13th, live from Anaheim at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox. What about Steven Strasburg and his prospects of getting a berth on this team?
Well, for me as a fan, I want to see him in that All-Star game. I know a lot of people are saying, well, he doesn't deserve it. He hasn't thrown enough. Well, what do you mean deserve it? There are a lot of guys every year that don't deserve it to get in, and there are a lot of guys that deserve it that don't. I mean, it's
a showcase.
I got to see him. I'm a fan. I want to see him go against the best in the American League.
And he's going to be on Fox next week when the Washington Nationals take on the New York Mets. And that'll be the story. And Steven Strasburg, how about that? A 1.78 earned run average, 41 strikeouts. Hasn't walked many either. 5 in one game in his first road game against Cleveland. He had problems with the mound in that game.
Yeah, and for me, it's not the numbers. It's the at-bats that these guys take against Strasburg. I mean, they completely look overmatched.
Aubrey Huff with a big swing and a miss. 1-1 to count. Youkilis is guarding the line and deep at first base with the score 4-2. That's where Kevin Youkilis is playing against the pull-hitting Aubrey Huff, who singled to right. Bounced to Youkilis before grounding out to shortstop in his last at-bat.
And you see Billy Hall out in that rover position in short right.
1 ball, 1 strike. And there's a called strike 2. And in case you're wondering, Huff against Okajima is batting only 143, has only 2 hits and 14 times up. And now Okajima's ahead of him, 1-2. Been a rough trip for the Red Sox, losing 2 out of 3 to Colorado, then coming into San Francisco, losing last night, Pedroia getting hurt, and then today trying to cling to the lead, which is now 2 runs with Clay Buchholz getting shaken up, and Huff strikes out. Good pitching by Okajima, strikes out 2 of the 3 he faces after the double by Sanchez. had an opportunity with the leadoff double and could not get him across. It remains 4-2, and Jeremy Affeldt is making his 26th appearance of the year. Opposition hitting .304 against Affeldt, who has struggled somewhat and will be facing left-handed pinch hitter J.D. Drew, who suffered a strained hamstring last Friday, returning as a pinch hitter. So here's Drew. And the first pitch taken for ball one. Drew is 1 for 4 in his career against Affeldt. Leading off, batting in the pitcher spot here in the 8th, hitting for Okajima, Daniel Bard, Red Sox setup man, warming up in a call strike. 1-1 to Drew, who's hitting .274 with 8 homers and 37 runs batted in. Drew will be followed by the top of the order, Marco Scutaro and Darnell McDonald. And a pop-up front of the plate, Posey. And this time he makes the catch for the out. Now for a DirecTV game break, let's check in with Chris Rose in the studio. All right, Chris, and of course the White Sox won the pennant in 1959, and there's the home run leaders. Canerco, one behind Jose Bautista, as Marco Scutaro, with 1 out, doubled his last time up into the left field corner and grounds it hard to Sandoval, who's played outstanding third base today. Throws out Scutaro on 1 pitch by Affeldt, 2 down.
Sandoval, very good athlete. Play a number of positions, and see, this is just a reaction. Boom, gets those hands down, nice soft hands, keeps the ball in front. Knows he has time, so it's not one of those panic, oh, I got to get the ball, I got to get the... Say, I got to get the ball. The ball was a shot to me. Gets a hold of it, throws him out at first.
Soft glove, like they say, soft hands in golf. Darnell McDonald homered in the first inning, his 5th of the year, to give the Red Sox a 1-0 lead off of Madison Bumgarner. And then after the 3-run homer by Cameron in the second, it was 4-0. But the Giants have come back. They've had some opportunities to make it even closer than the 4-2 game we had.
Well, they have. They've had a number of opportunities. Bumgarner, as you mentioned, really threw an excellent game once he settled down after that second inning. But if the Giants don't win this game, they've only themselves to blame. The opportunities have been abundant, and they just haven't been able to capitalize.
1-2 now to McDonald. Bumgarner made his second major league start today, worked 7 innings, allowed 4 runs on 5 hits, walked 1, struck out 5, gave up the 2 home runs in throwing 96 pitches in the 7-inning stint. Off-speed delivery, and it's 2-2 to McDonald.
You know, and if you're a San Francisco Giant fan, the reason to be excited is the runners in scoring position, that low average isn't going to continue. You have too many good hitters, and over the course of the season, you know, you'll have your times when you're hot as heck and other times when you're struggling.
McDonald goes down on strikes, 1-2-3 inning, and in the bottom of the 8th inning, the Giants will have Uribe, Burrell, and Sandoval. Time Garden crew. And by DirecTV. Watch and record in multiple rooms with just one DVR. Four to two, the Giants batting in the bottom of the 8th inning, and Daniel Bard, who has had a terrific season, turned 25 yesterday and making his 38th appearance, leading the American League. He also leads the league in holds with 17, and the list goes on. Not allowed a run in his last 6 outings, and has been an outstanding setup man for the Red Sox. Uribe takes ball 2-0, doubled his last time up, 1 for 3.
See Pat Burrell on deck and looking to get a runner on where one swing in the bat can tie the ball game. But Bard, not a lot of fun to hit against.
Like that pitch.
Well, the thing is, he's a tall, lanky guy, so the angle of the ball is difficult. He's 96, 97 miles an hour. He's got a nasty slider. I mean, it's almost as if, from a fear factor or not being comfortable, he's more difficult than Papelbon.
And there's a strike on the breaking ball. Looked like a slider, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Uribe didn't like it.
Well, you see this slider, it starts in the outer half of the plate. It may catch the corner, but as a hitter, you're just thinking, man, please don't give this guy any breaks. Guy's throwing 97. He doesn't need any help.
The 2-2 pitch, strike 3. Foul tipped into the glove of Martinez.
Sorry, 98. My bad.
Well, next week on Fox, baseball's newest phenom, Steven Strasburg, we've been talking about him, will look to add to write the next chapter of his impressive young career against the New York Mets. Fox Saturday Baseball next week at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific on Fox. Check your local listings for the game and start time in your area. So that was the 41st strikeout. In relief for Daniel Bard, who is tied for 3rd in the American League with the strikeouts coming in from the bullpen, and he gets ahead of Pat Burrell, 0-1. Burrell's been on base twice, has struck out, walked and singled, and scored one of the 2 Giant runs. There's a fastball, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, and what it is, I'm not saying that that Bard is better than Papelbon, not at all. What I am saying, though, is there's a difference between having an uncomfortable at-bat and just getting up there in the box. Bard, that's an uncomfortable at-bat.
1 ball and 2 strikes. On one occasion, he did come in to try to save for Papelbon and could not do so. And it's always easy to say, although everyone could say he's got that potential to be, a closer. But
you don't know until you put a guy in that situation, because the whole situation changes. The environment, the pressure, the every pitch could be the difference in the game. But what I'm saying, as a hitter going up and facing a guy like Bard, that's just not fun.
That one didn't miss by much.
I mean, there's some guys you're running up to the box, or you're saying, all right, this is sweet. We're going up there. I'm going to hit against this guy. I don't care if he's throwing 90, 95, whatever. But Bard, you're going up there and going, man, I hope this dude makes a mistake so I can get one, because
teams are hitting 167 against him with a 2.11 earned run average. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And Burrow lays off the pitch outside. 3-2, trying to get on base. Pablo Sandoval is on deck. And if Burrow can reach, Sandoval would come up as the potential tying run.
Well, it gets the inner part of the plate. I mean, it's a great pitcher's pitch. If you're the hitter right there, you're just trying to sell the umpire that pitch was not a strike. Kind of lean back a little and then take that step towards first and hope that home plate umpire Bill Welke says, yeah, maybe it was a ball, but didn't happen.
Pablo Sandoval, the switch hitter, who was 1 for 3, singled in the 4th inning. 2 out, nobody on base, foul out of play. And Jonathan Papelbon has his jacket off, and he's in the bullpen and getting ready to do his thing. Bard on the mound is the Red Sox 7th pitcher of the game. Clay Buchholz worked an inning, suffer a hyperextended knee. Terry Francona didn't seem overly concerned when we talked to him during the game. And a drive hit to right center field, and going back, Cameron, and Cameron makes the catch, falling down at the base of the wall with the ball tailing away. Mike Cameron, who made a sensational catch in Colorado, fights the sun. I don't know how he caught up with that one. The defensive play of the game, a brilliant 1-2-3 inning for Bard.
It makes a great one-handed grab right there. Right there, this ball game with Mike Cameron making that catch, him hitting that 3-run home run earlier in the game. Now you know why Theo Epstein went out and acquired Mike Cameron in the offseason.
And Mike Cameron paying dividends for the Red Sox with Milwaukee last year. Twice on the disabled list, 3 Gold Gloves, the Red Sox's 7th club. And you think of the acquisition, you talk about the injuries. The young players have come up and played so well for the Red Sox. But how about Beltre and Cameron, the additions and what they have done? And that's why the Red Sox in the race despite their problems. New pitcher is Denny Bautista, will be facing the switch hitting Victor Martinez, who is 0 for 3, as the Red Sox bat here in the top of the 9th inning. And Boston looking for some insurance runs, because the Giants have threatened lately. Jonathan Papelbon warming up in the pen will come in the bottom of the 9th inning. First pitch, foul back, strike 1. Bautista making his 16th appearance. Came in relief for Matt Cain, who didn't have it Thursday against the Astros in Houston. Martinez will be followed by Kevin Youkilis and Adrian Beltre. in the air down the right field line. Aubrey Huff chasing it, coming over and making the catch in the bullpen is Andres Torres. And falling down, tough catch for Torres going into the shaded area. And that's been the Giants' best defensive play of the game.
Well, he's battling the bullpen right there, and you've got those mounds, and obviously there's a bit of a hill right there. His left foot catches on that mound, and then he stumbles. And the thing about that, as an outfielder, you're running over there. You know you're going to run into that at some point. You're just thinking, okay, please make sure I grab it before I hit the ground. Nice catch by Andres Torres.
And you can see the sun affecting him here. So 1 out. Here's Kevin Youkilis. 0 for 3 has struck out twice. Strike 1 from Bautista. Well, the Red Sox, heart of the order, have only managed a 1 base hit. That was Beltre with a leadoff hit in the 2nd inning. Came around on Cameron's 3-run homer. And the 3, 4, 5 hitters have struck out 3 times today against Giant pitching. Youkilis in the air to right center. It'll be Torres, and that'll be 2 down. Well, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and MySpace, where you can get exclusive photos and behind-the-scenes looks of pregame and game preparations for the Yankee-Dodgers primetime game being updated right now. Log on to Facebook.com/Fox Sports, Twitter.com/MLB on Fox, or MySpace.com/Fox Sports. And the Dodgers leading the Yankees in the bottom of the 6th, 7-4. And Beltre, who's 1 for 3, hits it in the air to center field. Aaron Rowan makes the catch. A 1-2-3 inning for Bautista. And the Giants will have the bottom third of their order in the bottom of the 9th against Jonathan Papelbon. Inning, solo home run by Ian Stewart to lead off the 9th inning. Then he allowed a walk-off 2-run homer to Jason Giambi with 1 out in the 9th inning and the game winner for the Rockies. And then the next day with a 2-run lead, he allowed a game-tying 2-run single to Brad Hoff in the bottom of the 9th. 2nd and 3rd blown saves of the season, but Papelbon earned the win as the Red Sox won an extra inning. So looking to turn things around, the all-time franchise leader in saves with 167 He has 16 saves and 19 opportunities in his 31st appearance of the year. And Buster Posey will lead off. And the first pitch, strike one. Posey is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly and has driven in both Giant runs. He'll be followed by Aaron Rowan and a pinch hitter in the number 9 slot. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And when we were showing Papelbon's stats, he has close to a 4 ERA, and it gets back to that topic we were addressing earlier. You have one bad inning, and for a reliever, that could haunt you all year as far as statistics are concerned. As you mentioned, only 3 blown saves this year, and that 2 in the last couple days.
And a ground ball hit to Hall, the second baseman, makes the play. Papelbon was smart not to interfere with that ground ball and maybe deflect it to allow Hall make the routine play, and there's 1 out.
Well, and that has to do with experience. Papelbon's got it. He's been dominant. I put him in the top 3 or 4 closers in the game. You see right there, he's going to go after it, and then, maybe not. Let's Billy Hall take care of it.
So there's 1 out to Aaron Rowan, who's 0 for 3. And Jonathan Papelbon says you've got to have a short memory. First pitch is a strike. So in the last 2 appearances, 5 runs on 6 hits. You have to forget about it and just move on to the next one. And there is Travis Ishikawa, who is the best pinch hitter in baseball, on deck. 8 for 15. And Giants hoping to get a base runner here. Looking to get the tying run at the plate. And a fly ball to right field. Darnell McDonald makes the catch. And the Giants are down to their last out. And quickly, Papelbon has retired 2 batters. So 8 pitchers for the Red Sox today. And Okajima, after giving up the double to the pinch hitter Sanchez in the 7th inning, got the next 3 outs. Bard retired the Giants in order in the 8th inning, striking out 2 after Okajima fanned 2. And now with 2 down, here's Ishikawa. 8 for 15 as a pinch hitter. 2 down, bottom of the 9th inning. 4-2, the Red Sox lead. Ball 1.
Well, if anything, you can call the Red Sox efficient today. And as you mentioned, the number of contributions from a whole host of pitchers. Offensively, when they had opportunities, they took advantage. Only left 1 runner on base the entire game.
The 1-0. Foul back on the screen. Scott Atchison, by the way, would be the pitcher of record. He came in the 2nd inning and worked 2 1/3 innings. Gave up 1 of the 2 runs. Ramon Ramirez worked 2/3 of an inning. Manny Del Carmen, an inning plus, gave up a run. Then Dustin Richardson, Okajima, Bard, and now Papelbon trying to close it out. 2 down, nobody on. The Red Sox had a 4-0 lead, trying to hold on here. And there's a slow hit ground ball to Hall, and he makes the flip in time, and the ball game is over. And 8 Red Sox pitchers get the win, and it's Atchison with the win. And it was Bard with his 18th hold, and the save, the 17th in 20 opportunities for Papelbon, as the Red Sox beat the Giants 4-2. So the final score, the Red Sox 4 and the Giants 2. For Eric Karros, Dick Stockton saying so.